Hello beautiful humans. So today I want to go into how journaling helped me regulate my mental health. As you can hear, I have a bit of a cold, which is super annoying. And no, it's not coronavirus. The first thing I kind of want to start to talk about, and the reason why I'm talking about this at all, is because this was a major help in my journey to kind of regulate my depression and my anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that. And it really helped me get closer to myself and understand my body more and everything that was going on in my head, and just all in all become, I guess, closer to myself and give myself the ability to be my own best friend instead of relying on other people in order to do so. Journaling gave me the opportunity in order to get so close to myself that I always knew what was going on in my head and what was really standing in between me and the point that I was trying to go to. So let's dive right into it. One of the things that really shocked me that I found out was that 450 million people are currently suffering from mental illness, which places mental illness amongst one of the leading diseases that causes ill health and disability. Yes, that was it. This little fact means that mental illness has to be taken seriously, and we have to be taking serious steps in order to get ourselves to a place where we can help ourselves and help other people by being a little more educated on what tools we can use in order to get into better shape when it comes to how we can love ourselves and how we can comprehend everything that is going on in our brains. So I just wanted to dip right into why I actually started journaling and what it helped me with, and kind of like a little backstory on that. So basically, this is a flashback. I was in last year of high school, and in that year I didn't really know what I wanted to do anymore. I was lost. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. I actually inherited my depression, and one of the books that I love to read about things like this, inheriting any type of mental disorder or any type of illness from your parents or ancestors, is The Body Keeps the Score. This book just blew my mind, and all the things that I read inside of that book were mind-blowing to me. Oh, I already said that. But it really helped me understand that maybe the moment I started suffering from depression was the moment that my dad probably started suffering from depression, and maybe I inherited it from my dad, because at the time when I was really young, I was about 14 or 15, when I started to see very bad symptoms of depression. I didn't even know what I was sad about. I was just really sad all the time. And this was something that never made sense to me. And whenever people would ask me why I was depressed, I couldn't really give them a clear answer. There was just so much sadness around me and inside of me, and I didn't really know how to handle it. So what journaling did for me at that time is it allowed me to kind of get a clear vision of what was going on in my head, because I think that one of the major things that drove me into becoming very depressed is the fact that my brain would always go haywire, and I wouldn't know how to stop it. I wouldn't know how to actually take the information that my brain was giving me, I guess, filter out the trash and take the information that needed me to, I guess, do something about my situation, or the information that really made me sad. So at the time when I was younger, I couldn't figure it out. But then when I was in my last year of high school, I kind of figured out that I needed to take some steps in order to get better. I already felt way less depressed than I did when I was 14, 15, but I still felt the side effects of, that gloominess and that cloud above my head type of feeling that you will be very familiar with if you are or have been depressed. So what I tried to do is I tried to find certain books that I could read and certain things that I could do and practices that I could implement in order to get closer to myself. And a lot of practices that would help you in this case are meditation, breath work, journaling, and journaling was the one that stuck out to me. I'd never really been someone that had been good at writing down my feelings or even talking about my feelings, but I felt attracted to the idea of journaling. However, what kept me from journaling before, because I already knew about the practice journaling, I knew it existed. My mom is actually someone that used to write so much when she was younger, and I would always go into the attic and find all her little notebooks and I guess breach the privacy line and read through all of her little notebooks, which is not really respectful to her privacy. But at that age, I didn't even know privacy existed, and I just wanted to read what was going on in my mom's head. So I knew about the fact that journaling existed. I just didn't see myself as a journaler. I have been a crazy ass perfectionist. And that perfectionism seeped into everything that I did. So all the practices that I would integrate into my life needed to be perfect. And when I looked at journaling, I had this idea that I couldn't do it because it had to look a certain way. It had to feel like, everything was perfectly aligned, and there were all these little doodles and stuff that made my stuff look good. And I had to let go of that idea in order to actually make use of the powerful tool that is journaling. Because journaling doesn't have to look a specific way. Journaling doesn't have to feel a specific way. Besides that, I didn't see myself as a writer. I didn't see myself as someone that could actually consistently write things and do it in a beautiful way. And again, this came down to that perfectionism coming in and kind of bringing it back to me thinking and having this certain, what is it called? I guess I had a certain idea of what this thing was supposed to look like. I had expectations about what I would have to perform, what level I had to perform at when I was journaling. And I had to let go of all of those because journaling does not look a specific way. Journaling does not have to be pretty. Sometimes it looks very put together, and sometimes you only write down a single sentence and you close your journal again because it just doesn't work out. You have to give yourself that breathing space, and this is just a space in which you can release. And release is likely not going to be pretty at all. You're going to write things really fast, which makes them look absolutely crappy. Example. Then there are going to be times where you just don't know how to get out of your own head and into that writing, which means that you're going to circle around the problem at hand and not really say what it is that you want to say. This thing is common for so many people. For some reason, even though we know that no one else is going to read our journal, we still feel the need to make it look, feel, and sound prettier than it actually has to in order to raise those expectations inside of ourselves and meet some level of what other people expect of us and what we expect of ourselves, instead of just seeing this as a practice that allows you to truly sit down and take everything out of your body. So a couple of things journaling taught me were how to understand myself and what was actually going on in my head. My head is just a bunch of craziness. Another thing that I feel like journaling really brought to me is to give me an idea of what I want and what I don't want. And this especially comes back whenever I talk about things that I want and don't want in relationships and friendships and things that I might not notice at the time, but when I start journaling about it, it becomes very clear to me that I could have seen something coming, or that this is something that I want to take note of so that I don't allow it to happen again in the future, as well as me kind of mapping out what I want my life to look like, and also going back into some things that have been traumatizing for me and processing them. I actually at one point wrote down an entire, timeline of everything that was significant for me in my life and everything that brought me to the point that I'm at today, and also forgiving the people that might have hurt me, writing letters to the people that I might never speak to again, and just allowing myself to really externalize everything that is within me so that I can let go of it. And letting go is something that is so necessary when we're regulating our mental health, because the moment we're holding on to things, we just clutter up our brain and we get dragged down by the weight of it and become sad because of it. And that is not what we're gonna do anymore. I feel like we just need to understand that we have the power to actually walk ourselves through so many things. We have the power to take the first step. And maybe you cannot take every single step alone. And when that is the case, there is always going to be therapy that can help you in order to take multiple steps. But it's good to be able to actually know yourself and sink into all of the feelings and emotions that you have in order to have a foundation for therapy, so that you are able to express what it is that you're feeling and experiencing and all the emotions that are coming up for you without you actually sidestepping and not dealing with the problem at hand, but just trying to I guess, walk in circles and circles and circles and not really get to the point of therapy actually helping you with what it is that you're struggling with. So now the most important part of this entire video is how you can start journaling. And a lot of things that come to journaling, they don't have a roadmap or a how-to or a this is how you can journal the right way. That's absolute bullcrap. Journaling doesn't have to look any certain way. Like I've said multiple times before, journaling can look however you want it to look. It can be the prettiest thing. You can use journaling in the form of visual things. You can use it in terms of writing, and you just have to find the way that actually suits who you are as a person. But I'm gonna give you a couple of examples so that it's gonna be easier for you to maybe try these out and find one that actually works for you. So one of the best things that I started doing in terms of journaling is morning pages. And morning pages basically is you sitting down after you wake up and writing. Nothing else. Literally nothing else. You just write. There's no, I guess, point that you're trying to go to. It's just you taking out everything that might still be stuck in your head and starting your day fresh. And this is one of those practices that really allows me to not hold on to the weight of the past and let go of it in the morning so that I can actually begin my day in a positive way. And I can begin my day without feeling like I have all these things going on in my head. Then another thing that I loved, and this is what I used to do back in the day when I was still getting started with journaling, is writing one sentence a day. This might seem really stupid to you, but writing one sentence a day is what is going to be the foundation for you to build upon so that you can write multiple sentences a day at one point. And one of the things that I love when you're creating a new habit is breaking it down. So start off by writing one sentence a day and then move into writing one paragraph a day. And maybe then, you know, if this is one of your goals, you can start writing one page a day. When you do this and when you break it down in a way where it's very doable and easy for you, journaling is not going to feel like a hassle. The entire habit is not going to feel like a hassle because at one point it's going to be so easy that you don't even mind grabbing your journal, writing down that one sentence, and it just becomes a part of your routine, which is what you want. Then once you start, you know, having that one sentence a day in your routine, that is when you can add to it. So let's say you tell yourself, for a month, I'm gonna write one sentence a day. Then for another month, I'm gonna write one paragraph a day. And then the month after, I'm gonna write 2 paragraphs, or maybe you move on to half a page, depending on what it is that you think you can do and how comfortable you actually have become with the habit of journaling. Then something I mentioned before and will come back to again is writing letters to other people. I think this is one of those things that really helped me process a lot. I wrote letters to my exes, I wrote letters to my mom, to so many friendships that I have had to let go of in order for me to actually be able to process the thing that was happening in my life and let go of it, even though I would probably never talk to the person again. Writing those letters is the shit. To see everything for what it is and let go of that person in your life or let go of that thing that happened to you and be able to make peace with it. And one of the last things that I want to mention is just see journaling as having little conversations with yourself. When I started looking at it in that way, it just became way easier for me to do it consistently and to actually feel like journaling meant something in my life, because there's no person that you have to build trust with as much as you have to build trust with yourself. You are the most important person in your life and you are the center point of everything. You're the main character in your life. So allow yourself to truly sit down and have those moments so that you can start to become better at expressing your feelings and your emotions and feeling better inside of your body. And lastly, don't be too freaking hard on yourself. Maybe you won't get the hang of journaling in the first week or the first month or the first year. And that is completely okay. We are all humans on a journey, having a human experience, and everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So if you decide that you want to start journaling, just write it down, map it out, plan it into your week, be able to have those little moments for yourself where you sit down and attach it to something. Let's say you sit down in the morning and the moment you wake up, your journal is next to your bed, you grab it and you start writing stuff down. This is the way that you want to go about these things. Because at the end of the day, this is for you, and this is something that is going to help you. And even if journaling might not work for you, there are multiple practices that you can try out. But try them all out so that you can see what actually works for you, what's going to make you a happier person, and what is going to help you regulate your mental health. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in staying sad. And there's so much beauty in life, and you are so beautiful inside as well. So it's so good to build that relationship with yourself and make yourself realize that you deserve these tools and you deserve these mindfulness practices, and you deserve to have that stable thing in your life that is going to help you sit with your emotions, process them, and come out a better person. I hope that there was a lot that you took from everything that I said today. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to mention them in the comment section, or if you have something personal that you want to share with me, you're welcome to send me a message on Instagram. I'm always willing to talk to all of you guys, have real conversations, and even share some of my journal entries with you in order to make you feel more comfortable with the concept of bearing it all and being your full authentic self, even if it's just in private and on paper. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and like the video because I want to get this in front of so many people so that we can help other people regulate their mental health and just be the best version of themselves every day and achieve that feeling of freedom inside of their body.